At the Port Authority, we don't just talk about what we're going to do. We deliver it. Here's what a decade of delivering big projects looks like now and for the future. Now, you may have heard some less than flattering things about our old facilities. But that was then. This is now. Let's take a quick tour of what we're building. First stop, the skies. Newark Terminal A, done. And people can't stop raving about it. From the spacious, light-filled areas to the family-friendly amenities to the local restaurants and shops, it's an appealing, world-class facility with a distinctly New Jersey style. But what's next? How about improved Northeast Corridor station access and a brand new air train? We're on it. At the heart of this transformation is a magnificent new Terminal B anchoring a fully reimagined airport. Across the river at JFK, we're reclaiming the title of premier international hub with a complete transformation in a distinctly New York style. At $19 billion and more than 3/4 privately financed, it's the largest public-private partnership in the country. New terminals and roadways begin opening in 2026, and we're setting the stage for a major overhaul of AirTrain JFK as well. And let's not forget about a whole new LaGuardia. We turned a punchline into the best airport in America, finished on time and on budget. Now getting there will be even easier, with dedicated lanes and bus sensors that turn red lights green, linking free buses to the subway and LIRR faster than ever. 3 airports, 3 historic transformations. It's about time. Now we'll come back down to earth to roads, bridges, and terminals that move millions every day. The Midtown Bus Terminal is being fully replaced with a bright, airy facility that travelers will appreciate rather than endure. Designed around people, not just buses, the best-in-class hub will replace the outdated 75-year-old station with a 21st-century gateway for customers, keeping idling buses off neighborhood streets. It's more than a new terminal. It's a whole new era. We're also upgrading and repairing major bridges and tunnels to keep them safe and reliable for generations to come, including a comprehensive rebuild of the George Washington Bridge. Next up, we're going from roadways to railways. Path's historic investment in new tracks, state-of-the-art signals, and more has been laying the groundwork for better service, and the payoff is here. Starting in 2026, Path will run more trains, especially during rush hours and on nights and weekends. All this means more reliable trips, more frequent trains, and a much better experience. And finally, to the harbor, where the region's economy meets the world. We're strengthening the East Coast's largest port, restoring wharfs and berths, streamlining truck routes, and keeping the global supply chain moving through our shores. Across facilities, we're investing in sustainability and resilience for a changing world. As the steward of the World Trade Center campus, we never forget what's at stake. So as we build, we're making a record investment in security to keep our facilities and millions of passengers safe every single day. So how do we fund these major investments? We're self-financed. We receive no taxpayer money from New York and New Jersey. Every dollar comes from our own revenues and business partners. Over the past decade, we've shown that we can take on ambitious, hard projects and get them done. Now, we're advancing a critically needed capital plan to make historic investments in the coming decades of regional growth, restoring what's aging, strengthening what's essential, and building what's needed. This isn't about promises. It's about pride in building better for our region, and proof that we're delivering the progress that New York and New Jersey deserve. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey is building infrastructure that works for you. At the Port Authority, we don't just talk about what we're going to do. we deliver it. Here's what a decade of delivering big projects looks like now and for the future. You may have heard some less than flattering things about our old facilities. But that was then. This is now. Let's take a quick tour of what we're building. First stop, the skies. Newark Terminal A, done. And people can't stop raving about it. From the spacious, light-filled areas to the family-friendly amenities to the local restaurants and shops, it's an appealing, world-class facility with a distinctly New Jersey style. But what's next? How about improved Northeast Corridor station access and a brand new air train? We're on it. At the heart of this transformation is a magnificent new Terminal B anchoring a fully reimagined airport. Across the river at JFK, we're reclaiming the title of Premier International Hub with a complete transformation in a distinctly New York style. At $19 billion and more than 3/4 privately financed, it's the largest partnership in the country. New terminals and roadways begin opening in 2026, and we're setting the stage for a major overhaul of AirTrain JFK as well. And let's highlight in building better for our region, and proof that we're delivering the progress that New York and New Jersey deserve. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey is building infrastructure that works for you.
Good evening, and thank you for being here. My name is Stephen Marinko, and I'm an Assistant General Counsel of the Port Authority, and I am this evening's hearing officer. With me to my left is Commissioner Licia Eve of New York, and to my right is Commissioner George Helmy of New Jersey. They both serve on the Board of Commissioners, the agency's governing body. We are holding this hearing for public comments because the Port Authority is considering the following initiatives. First, the proposed capital plan for 2026 to 2035. Second, the proposed 2026 budget. Third, proposed changes in tolls and fares for the use of our vehicular tunnels and bridges and path passenger rail facilities. And fourth, changes to the airport ground transportation access fees and the bus terminal fees. We have prepared materials to assist in explaining these proposals, including a written handout which can be found at the entrance to this hearing room. We will also shortly show a presentation describing the proposals. If there is something in the presentation that you would like to hear again, it can also be accessed through the Port Authority's website at panyj.gov/public hearings. The hearing will begin shortly after this presentation.
Founded more than a century ago, the Port Authority's mission is to keep the region moving. With a broad array of assets across the region, from airports to seaports, the PATH train, our bridges and tunnels, and the World Trade Center campus, the Port Authority is committed to keeping the region moving. Today, we'll review the Port Authority's proposed 2026 to 2035 capital plan, which builds on the strong momentum set in the previous capital plan to deliver the next generation of best-in-class infrastructure that will continue to advance the region. The Port Authority is financially self-sustaining. It receives no funding from either state and relies on raising the needed funds to construct, operate, and improve its facilities. The past 5 years have presented unique challenges to the Port Authority's operating environment, including revenue impacts from the COVID-19 pandemic, macroeconomic trends including inflation and tariffs, and rising interest rates. Despite these headwinds, the Port Authority drove the ambitious 2017 to 2025 capital plan forward to deliver transformative infrastructure projects across the region, including delivering key aspects of the transformation of the region's 3 major airports, including best-in-class facilities like the new LaGuardia and a new Terminal A at Newark. Rebuilding of the Goethals Bridge and advancing the $11 billion Midtown bus terminal replacement. Critical projects, including the raising of the Bayonne Bridge to increase the capacity of cargo movement at the seaport. Infrastructure investments and expanded capacity across the PATH system, and revitalization of the World Trade Center complex. It was a decade of achievement, but we're not done yet. The Port Authority has proposed an ambitious $45 billion capital plan that continues this unprecedented rebuilding program while maintaining our world-class standard and creating economic opportunity for the region. The 2026 to 2035 capital plan proposes $20 billion in spending across the airports, including the completion of an unprecedented transformation at JFK, including major terminals and brand new AirTrain cars and stations. At Newark Liberty, completing the replacement of the AirTrain and delivering an all-new Terminal B to bring every aspect of the airport up to the same world-class standard set by the award-winning Terminal A. And at LGA, replacing the 85-year-old Terminal A and vastly improving Q70 LGA Link bus access to the airport. These transformational projects in the proposed 2026 to 2035 capital plan are largely funded by private investments, cost recoveries, lease revenues, and fees, which make up 2/3 of our revenues. To support delivery of these ambitious goals, the capital plan proposes changes to airport access fees for for-hire vehicles and for taxis, which will be aligned with fees at peer airports across the country. The proposed modification would increase access fees for for-hire vehicles from $2.50 for each pickup and drop-off to $5 for each pickup and drop-off, effective March 15, 2026. The proposed modification would also increase airport access fees charged to taxis, which are currently $1.75 per pickup. Pickup fees for taxis would increase by 25 cents on March 15, 2026, with further 25-cent increases for each of the 2 following years. The proposed 2026 to 2035 capital plan would drive completion of an $11 billion best-in-class Midtown bus terminal. Completed in 2 phases over the next 10 years, the inspiring, light-filled transit hub of the future will serve the needs of both the commuters and the community. To provide important support for the cost of building, operating, and maintaining this world-class facility, the 2026 to 2035 capital plan proposes updated carrier fees charged to bus companies operating at the Midtown bus terminal. Bus toll structures, which currently group all buses together, would be separated into 3 classes based on vehicle type: minibuses, 2-axle buses, and 3-axle buses. The proposed 2026 to 2035 capital plan would also drive $4.4 billion in state of good repair spending to ensure the resiliency of our crossings for another century, including advancing the comprehensive rebuild of the George Washington Bridge, extensive rehabilitations to the Outer Bridge Crossing and Lincoln Tunnel Helix, and planning for the future replacement of these assets in the 2036 to 2045 capital plan period. To support these critical tunnel and bridge investments, the 2026 to 2035 capital plan proposes phasing out the current $2 Easy Pass discount for autos and motorcycles offered during off-peak hours. The phase-out would take place at 50 cents per year, starting in 2027, and last 4 years. The discount program at the Staten Island bridges would remain unchanged. The truck discount at off-peak hours would remain unchanged, and the calculation of the Easy Pass peak rate for autos would remain unchanged. At the PATH commuter rail system, the 2026 to 2035 capital plan proposes more than $2 billion in key investments, including continued restoration of all tracks, installation of state-of-the-art anti-evasion fare gates, and support for major service increases. Under the proposed capital plan, for the first time in 25 years, all 4 PATH lines would operate 7 days a week in 2026 and offer major service increases, a direct response to feedback from the community calling for increased weekend service levels, including late-night service, and increased service during the weekday rush hours. To support these improvements, the 2026 to 2035 capital plan proposes a fare increase of 25 cents beginning in spring 2026, with additional 25-cent increases each January from 2027 through 2029. PATH's operations are unique. The PATH system receives no state or federal funding and subsidizes 75% of each PATH ride. The proposed increase in fares would provide critical funding for the proposed increases to PATH service. The capital plan we have put forward is a transformational, once-in-a-generation proposal. Every dollar in the proposed plan goes back into visible, tangible improvements that make the region and residents' lives better. We have proven, through the completion of the 2017 to 2025 capital plan, that we are capable of delivering major projects for the region. That ambition continues in the proposed 2026 to 2035 capital plan. Completing priority initiatives and advancing a new generation of projects that will modernize, strengthen, and expand the agency's infrastructure around the region. In addition to today's public hearing, there are numerous ways for the public to offer their feedback. Comments will be reviewed by the Port Authority Board of Commissioners prior to a final publication and adoption of the proposed 2026 to 2035 capital plan.
Thank you for watching. We are interested in what you have to say today. Comments today will be limited to 3 minutes per person. The commissioners are here to listen, but there will not be a back and forth conversation. We have a clock to keep track of things so that we know when the 3 minutes elapse. You will get a warning when you're getting close to the end of your comment time. If you'd like to provide additional comments after this hearing, there are a number of ways for you to do that. First, you can go to our website, panyj.gov/public hearings, and make written comments there. Second, you may mail written comments addressed to the following address: Public Hearing Comments, Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, 4 World Trade Center, 23rd floor, New York, New York, 10007. And in addition, you may provide comments regarding these matters at the December 18, 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting, which will be held at 2 Montgomery Place, Jersey City, New Jersey, scheduled to begin at approximately 1 p.m. All public comments made in any form on the matters described above will be transcribed and also summarized by Port Authority staff and retained by the Port Authority for consideration by the full Board of Commissioners. We will now begin the public hearing portion of this meeting. The first speaker is Christian Hartman.
A little cold, so I apologize about that. My name's Chris Hartman. I'm Senior Vice President of New Jersey Alliance for Action. For the official record, the Alliance for Action is a nonpartisan, nonprofit association. We represent thousands of business, labor, government, education, utility, professional leaders in New Jersey. And our mission is to improve New Jersey's economy through environmentally friendly capital construction and infrastructure investment. In addition to that, I wanted to mention I'm a Bergen County resident. My wife and I are heavy users of Port Authority assets, so I'm here in that capacity as well tonight. We wanted to state on the record that we stand in full support of the Port Authority's capital plan and its 10-year strategic plan that's going to carry through 2035. Now, since we're on the Jersey side of the river tonight, I just wanted to point out a couple of projects that we saw that we really could see the benefit of. And number one, Terminal B at the airport, the AirTrain, EWR access projects. We've all seen how awesome Terminal A is, and to be able to emulate that in a new terminal, fantastic. Bergen County residents, we're going to feel the new Port Authority bus terminal in such a positive way. So we're really looking forward to that as well. The upgrades to PATH stations, major service enhancements to meet the record demands. I'm also very personally familiar with both the Lincoln Tunnel Helix and the outer bridge crossings to Staten Island. They're vital between New Jersey and New York. I'm really looking forward to that as well. And then I also wanted to mention, of course, the money that's potentially put aside to fund the Port Authority's partnership with the Gateway Tunnel as well. And that's probably the nation's most important infrastructure project today. We can't harp on that enough. I know they're only pieces of the overall plan, and you're looking at 30,000 construction jobs by union labor as well. That's a huge boost to the local economy up here. They provide so much. Access to transportation, that's what keeps us moving economically. It's vital, and it's going to continue to be that way for the future. We know that fares and tolls have to accompany a very ambitious plan like that. We understand that. But we've considered that, and we think that this is a very critical investment for New Jersey and the region's future. You get the infrastructure that you pay for, right? And that's what we're looking at here. And this is not just infrastructure that's going to serve the current and next generation, but it serves people into the 22nd century as well. This is a really, really long-term plan. It's forward-thinking, and us and our membership, and personally, my wife and I too, we stand behind this, and I just wanted to say thank you for doing it. Thanks for putting it together. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to be here.
Thank you very much. The next speaker, Kenneth Vogel.
Oh, geez, nobody reacted to my name. My first public hearing meeting that had anything to do with infrastructure and transportation was in 1988 for the Secaucus transfer. And sorry to say, that took off the entire Secaucus High School auditorium full of people. Lucky you got 20 people here. But I do appreciate you guys. Somehow I found you guys on Facebook and found out about this meeting, because ever since COVID, going to meetings haven't really been all that high a priority to some people, you know. So I was on the West of Hudson Transit study for the MTA for the Tappan Zee Bridge. Other reason why I'm hoping people remembered me. I actually worked for advanced testing, so I represented the Port Authority for, after 9/11, I was at Ground Zero doing the path restoration at the Technical Center. So I know a lot about your projects over the years. So in what I'm reading, I'm glad to hear that the bus depot is going to get done. I heard about that when Disney first came to the Times Square area. LaGuardia, I'm hoping you extend or at least in New York City, extends the N train past Wildflower Studios that just got built and over to LaGuardia. I hope that you guys make the connection over to Stewart Airport, to the Port Jervis line. That was talked about 20 years ago, you know, things like that. Other things came to mind. I put my name down to speak because, hey, you know, you only had 2 people on the list. And, you know, figured I'd tell you what I thought. Didn't get a chance to read everything. Well, I look forward to talking to any of you after the meeting. Give more than 3 minutes. But thanks so much for, you know, and at least having it local to me since I live in Bergen County.
Thank you very much. Jonathan Woolley.
Hi. First of all, I like the Port Authority overall. I think you guys do a good job overall. But one thing that came to my mind when I was looking at the stuff on the computer, when I was looking at it earlier today, for a long time, we've been promised, or not promised, supposedly a path extension was going to be built out to Newark Airport. And I know it was supposedly put off because of the COVID, because of the loss of revenue due to the, I guess, decline in travel that resulted from the COVID years. And as I read the press announcements way back then, this is around 2021-ish or so, the idea was that, okay, it had been put off for the 2020 to 2025 plan because of the decline in revenue due to COVID, but it was going to be reinstated in the plans that came in about 2026 or something like that. Well, I didn't see it on, at least on the stuff that I downloaded. stuff that I could see on the website, I didn't see a path extension to Newark Airport up there. I know you guys are, and I do appreciate this, that you're enlarging the Newark Airport train station to reach over towards Franklin-Geisen Avenue to allow people in the South Ward. And I know that supposedly that has room on the west hand, just west of Track 5, New Jersey Transit's Track 5, Amtrak's Track 5, to allow for path extension to eventually be built, but it's not on the plan. And that's something I was kind of expecting. And I think, quite frankly, it would be a revenue generator for the Port Authority, and I'm rather surprised that it wasn't on there. You want me to help you? I'm a longtime student of airport railings. You want me to help you work on it? Hey, talk to me. But I was very surprised that wasn't on there. And I think that, when you look at the performance of the way you have both the A train and the E and the J and the Z running out to connect with the air train at Jamaica, as well as Long Island Railroad. I know the A train's at Howard Beach, as well as the Long Island Railroad at Jamaica, and you still get people going everywhere. I think that, as I say, that path to Newark Airport would have been a revenue generator, and I'm surprised you guys didn't put it on there. I agree with what this gentleman said, that one of these days, Stewart Airport, I remember going to the hearings on that, which I believe were around 2006 or so, but they were a long time ago, about extending that up there. I assume that that's never going to happen, or will one day happen, but who knows when. But I think that's stuff that could be done. Regarding the location of this, I'm glad you guys did pick a place that was near Teterboro Airport, because that's something, it's kind of a forgotten airport compared to the big three. And also, I know in general, Bergen County tends to be a little bit on the forgotten side of the Port Authority. Or if not on the forgotten side, it sometimes seems that way here in Bergen County. And I appreciate that you guys did take the trouble to put a hearing here in Bergen County, right near the airport. And I am glad you're doing the renovation of the bus terminal in Midtown. And I will say I like the renovation that you did at the one at George Washington Bridge bus station. I think that could be, the bus station could be more utilized than it is, but I appreciate the renovation that you did there. I think you guys did a good job. And I'm glad that, I've looked at some of the pictures and the drawings of the projected plans of the one in Midtown. I think that's a good, I think you guys are onto something there. I think you guys are onto something there, and I'm glad you're doing it.
Thank you for your comments. We've given you I allowed you to speak for additional time beyond the 3-minute limit.
Okay, I didn't know, because I came in and they immediately called me up and said, well, I didn't. So
Okay. Okay, no, thank you. Okay.
You guys do such a good job with the interstate between New York and New Jersey. What I wanted to say is, I don't know if you got around the country or know about it, but for example, the commuter trains from Boston don't go into New Hampshire. The commuter trains in Washington, D.C. don't cross the border between Maryland and Virginia. They're trying to get a commuter train to go between Chicago and Milwaukee, and crossing the border between Illinois and so I can go on and on and on. To give you an example, Bright Line West, you're going to go between California and Nevada. Please tell these other states how to do it right, since you guys do the interstate stuff so well that Amtrak doesn't have to jump in and do every border crossing in transportation. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Vogel. Is there anyone else here present that would like to provide comments? Okay. We will hold the hearing open until 7:30 to provide an opportunity for any additional speakers to appear, register, and provide their comment. There being no other speakers, this hearing is officially adjourned. Thank you and good evening.